One of the most important things to understand as an entrepreneur is what it takes to turn a stranger into a buyer for your business. Because if you can't earn the trust of people who don't yet know you and give them the confidence to invest in your products and services, then you're going to have a really hard time growing and scaling your business. So in this video, I'm going to introduce you to a set of principles that will enable you to create content and craft marketing campaigns that bring in more buyers for your offers. Now, what I'm not trying to do with this video is turn you into an expert at marketing. In fact, I don't even think you need to be. As your business grows, you will hire people and you will get help with the content creation and with the marketing campaigns that bring in these buyers. But if you understand these principles, you'll be able to take a look at any type of content or anything that's being created to help bring in buyers for your business and understand why it worked or didn't work. One of the biggest mistakes that I've seen entrepreneurs make when they create content or craft a marketing campaign that was meant to bring in buyers is if it didn't work, they blame the type of content or they blame the type of campaign. They blame the fact that it was a webinar that didn't work, or it was a sales video that didn't work, or a sales page that didn't work, whatever the case is. But the reason they're blaming the type of content that was used is because they didn't understand these principles. Because the reality is almost any type of content can work if it follows these principles. Over the past 10 years, I've created over 1,000 pieces of content for other businesses. I brought in thousands of customers and sales opportunities for those businesses. And the reason why I was able to create different types of content that all brought in buyers is because I understood these principles that I'm about to share with you right now. Okay, so with that being said, before we actually create a specific type of content, we got to ask ourselves, is the person that we're creating that content for fit this criteria? And there's two components that we want to look for. The first is that the audience that we're targeting with our content or that we're creating it for fits our ideal client profile, our ICP. That's a representation of who is a good fit for what it is that we sell. Because we're not meant to help everyone. There is a specific segment of the market out there that is the best fit for us. If you don't have an ICP, I will link to another video I've recorded on how to create one in the description below this video. It's a great resource that I recommend using if you don't already have that created. The second criteria is that they actually have intent to solve the specific problem that they're facing. Okay, so our offer represents the solution. So we don't want to be trying to like hard sell somebody or twisting their arm to try to get them to buy our stuff. We want to find people who already are committed to solving their problem and investing in a solution that helps them to solve their problem. So those are the two criteria we look for: is the people that we're designing the content or the campaign for, do they fit our ideal client profile, and do they actually have intent to solve a specific problem that our offer can help them with. Now, if they fit those two criteria, the next thing that we're looking for is, do they already have what's called a core belief? Okay, every business or every offer, I should say, is going to be attractive to somebody who has a core belief. And that core belief is the thing that they need to believe to be true for investing in the product or service to make sense for them. And the good news is there's a segment of your market that already has this belief, so you don't have to do this convincing. You don't have to convince a large number of people to adopt a new belief. You can just target your messaging and target your offers to the people who have already got it. So I'll give you an example. When I was working for a company called Thinkific, which is an online course platform, we were trying to get entrepreneurs to use the software to create and sell their courses. And so a core belief for that market was that creating online courses would help you to scale your business. And so we used that in our messaging a lot. We talked about how Thinkific software could help you scale your business with online courses. Now, had we used a different message, like make money online with online courses, that would have attracted a totally different audience. It would have attracted people who are, just looking for a way to make a quick buck online, and for them, creating and selling courses would help them do that. But when we targeted folks who already had a business, because we talked to them about scaling their business using online courses and training, that attracted a totally different audience. It attracted more established entrepreneurs, people who already had clients, subject matter experts, and they were just looking for a way to grow their business more efficiently, and creating online courses helped them to do that. And so if an entrepreneur already believed that they could scale their business with online courses, then it was much easier to sell them on using the software to help them accomplish that outcome because they were already convinced of that core belief. So once that heavy lifting has been done, and again, there's people in your market who already have this belief, but if you're in scale mode and you're trying to reach a greater number of customers, you might have to install that belief in them or transfer that belief to them with education. But assuming they've got it, the next things that we want to chip away at are some smaller beliefs, which are called dominoes. And there are 5 main dominoes that we want to ensure our content or our campaign does the job of transferring those 5 beliefs. And just like when you stack dominoes on a table and you knock one over and they knock the rest down, that's what we're doing here. We're trying to make sure we knock over these 5 dominoes with our content so that saying yes to our offer just makes perfect sense. It's a no-brainer if we've done a good job of transferring these 5 beliefs. So the first domino is that we can help them to accomplish a very specific outcome that's important to them. The more clearly that we can communicate a specific and measurable outcome that our market wants to accomplish and that helps them solve a problem, then the more likely they are to invest in our solution. The second belief is that we can help them overcome any of the challenges that are getting in the way of them achieving that outcome. So many of the people in your market, they're already trying. They've got the intent to solve their problem. They've tried other products and services to help them solve their problem, or they've tried doing it on their own, and they've run into some challenges along the way. So the better you can describe the challenges that have stopped them from achieving that outcome, the more likely they are to believe that you have the solution to them. Because when we can very clearly describe the challenges that somebody is facing, they're more likely to assume that we've figured out a solution to overcoming those challenges. The third belief is that we have a proven process that will help them to overcome those challenges and get the outcome. And that process is proven because it either worked for us on ourselves or it worked for other customers and clients that have invested in that solution. We've got some social proof to show them that, hey, this worked. This worked for me or it worked for others, and it can work for you too. The fourth belief is that it would be more efficient for them to invest in our offer than to try to solve this problem on their own. So the way that we structured our offer, whether it's a consulting offer, a course, services, software, etc., the logistics of what it is that we offer help them to get their outcome faster and easier than doing it on their own. So we got to show that it's efficient for them to invest in our offer and to not try to continue solving their problem on their own or with somebody else's offer instead of ours. And then the last thing that we need to convince them of is that the value of what it is that we're selling exceeds the cost. And the cost is not just the price that we're charging. The cost to them is money, but it's also time, effort, energy, etc. So if we can show them that our offer will help them get a clear outcome that they value, that it's going to help them overcome the challenges that have been stopping them from getting that outcome, that it's a proven process that is more efficient for them than doing it on their own, and that the price that we're charging is much less than what that outcome is worth to them, that is how we convince a stranger to become a buyer or a client for our products and services. And so the next time that you're creating content that is meant to bring in a buyer for your business, or you're planning a marketing campaign, or maybe you're diagnosing something that you've already done, ask yourself, is what we're putting out there, is the content that we're publishing and distributing to our target audience, is it attracting people who fit our ideal client profile and have intent to solve their problem? Do they already have the core belief that makes it easier for them to say yes to what it is that we offer? And did you chip away at transferring these 5 other beliefs that would make it a no-brainer to buy your product or service? And if the answer was no for any of these, that's probably why the content or the campaign didn't work. And when our goal for our content is to help scale our business, our content needs to fit this criteria. It needs to accomplish these objectives in order to support the growth of our business. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions for me, feel free to leave a comment below the video. And if you're enjoying these videos, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and get the notification whenever I publish new videos.